Hello fellow crafters! I am doing an update for the Scorched Earth Challenge that I'm participating in, where I'm getting rid of a bunch of my yarn that I've had sticking around for years, various projects that I've had incomplete for years. So between March 1 this year and March 1 next year, I am working on getting rid of or using up or giving away a bunch of the yarn that I have. So I have been working on some projects. This last week I had set a goal to just work on more on some of the projects that I've already been working on, and I've gotten some things worked on. I don't want to say done yet, even though one is very close to it, and I will show you. But first I'll show you the progress on my Afghan that I've been working on. I made these squares many years ago, probably 10 to 15 years ago. And for a long time I was hung up on the project because I needed to make these red hearts and applique them to the squares, to some of the squares. And it took me a while to get the hearts done, and then once I got them done, I waited even longer to work on the project because you have to applique them to the squares, and that is not my funnest thing in the world to do. I do not like to sew things together like that when I'm crocheting. So it took me a while to get that done, but I finally did, and then that's about the time that I started my started the Scorched Earth Challenge. I think actually part of the Scorched Earth Challenge was to apply the hearts to the squares. And then I've gotten 2 rows done, and last week I had gotten to this square right here. I have added this much more. 2 more squares that aren't even fully attached. That's all I did on this Afghan this week. Just been distracted with a lot of things. It's trying to get things planted in the garden and in my food forest, and then I had some things come in the mail that further distracted me from getting this done. But these are my 2 bags full of the next 2 rows of this Afghan, and my cats, I don't know if you can see the bag on there. Yeah, my cats love to get a hold of these bags and scratch them all up. Yeah, see right there. There's a lovely hole in that bag. Gotta love cats and yarn, right? Okay. One of the other things I was working on was the background for the Christmas tree advent calendar that I'm doing. I don't have a picture of it out here to show those who haven't seen it yet, but you can go back to one of my other videos and see that. And I actually made backwards progress on this because I was noticing that my gauge was a lot tighter up at the top than it was, well, let's see, that's the beginning. My gauge was a lot tighter up here than when I first started, so I had to take out about half of it because I didn't like that, you know, that triangulation happening. So I took out about half of it, and I've gotten some more progress after doing that. A few more rows added. So I made backward progress on that. But that's when I got, again, distracted because of something that came. One thing that came was, again, you can see the cat's got a hold of this. This is a new skein that I just got. I needed, oh man, and they snagged some of the yarn. Yeah, bummer. I needed some chocolate yarn, some brown Simply Soft for the advent calendar that I'm doing. One of the pieces that you take out of the pocket and hang on the bag is a Rudolph. And you know, for many of the items like the mugs or the presents, you could exchange the colors, but I mean, Rudolph really does need to be brown. And so I didn't have any brown Simply Soft. So I did order the chocolate, and I actually ordered it from Etsy because none of the regular stores, online stores that I was looking at, even had chocolate as an option. It was either not even an option or they were out of stock. Pretty sure it wasn't even an option. So I did find it on Etsy though. That's a good place to find yarns if you're looking for something that you can't find in other places. So the other thing that came in the mail that was so distracting for me, my black Simply Soft party with the sparkles. So of course I went straight to work and I have almost completed my little house pillow. So I got all I had left was some of the gusset here in black, and then I had to of course finish the green, which I did have the yarn for. And then I had to put the striping on the panes, the window here to make the panes. So got all of that done, got it sewn together except at the bottom. And I was going to finish it real quick before I made the video, but then I thought I'd show you what I was doing inside to fill it. I haven't even read the directions to see what they say to fill it with, probably just polyfill. But I know this was 12 inches. It was supposed to measure 12 inches across. And so I thought, well, I'll just get a 12-inch pillow and then maybe polyfill for the top of the house, the roof. And then when I was at the store, I saw a smaller pillow. I think it ended up being a 10-inch by 10-inch square pillow, and I thought, I saw that they had zippers, and so I figured it would be easy to unzip it, take out some of the polyfill, and leave it so that it makes a triangle. So that's what I did. I first took out about half of half of it, so it was right there, and stuck it in there. But then I noticed it wasn't quite filling it all the way. So I put some of that polyfill back in there, and then you just, stuff the corner up in there, and it makes a nice little triangle, and that made for a nice pointy roof at the top without having to worry about the polyfill stuffing. So you can see it fills it rather nicely. It does seem a little bit, loose, but I'm gonna do something else to fix that. The rest of the polyfill from the roof I put in this 12-inch pillow to make it poofier, and then I stuck that in there. But then it doesn't quite make it floofy all the way across, sadly. So I was trying to figure out what I could do with that. I didn't really want to go get another pillow. If I had just gotten like a 14-inch pillow to start out with, it probably would have been fine, because then I could have just taken some stuffing out if it was too much. Although I think a 14-inch pillow probably would have been perfect for this. So if you make this house and you want to use a pillow form, maybe go with the 14-inch instead of the 12-inch. But I'm not going to go get another pillow. I do have some polyfill here already, so I'm just gonna stuff it up the side. And maybe this is a big no-no. I don't care. This is what's gonna happen. I'm not selling this pillow or anything. My son, when he saw the house, my youngest son that is, he immediately claimed it as for himself. So once I'm done with this, it's going to my son. And I don't think he'll care that one side of the house is filled with polyfill instead of pillow. And it might make it for interesting lumpiness from time to time, but you can see it looks pretty nice even with just the polyfill in there. I may put a little bit in here because this is where the division of the two pillows are from the roof and the house. So just put a little polyfill in there to fill that up. So now all I have to do is sew up the rest of the seam. They used a single crochet on the edging to sew the two pieces together. It gives it a nice little definition to the sides of the house. And I'll be done. I just want to say on the pillow, or sorry, on the window, the directions say to make a chain and then sew it on. I felt that that was kind of a ridiculous thing to do. Why not just sew a straight line on? Or I have done for other projects, you do a slip stitch through the seams, or through the stitches going across and then through the rows growing up. So I did that. You just do a slip stitch around the posts of the vertical on the rows, and then across the, you know, you do it across the rows of going up. For me, that seemed a lot simpler than making a chain and sewing it on. But to go even simpler, you could just do the back stitch and make a line going across. It wouldn't be as thick of a line probably making the panes, but pretty simple anyway. And then we added the doorknob as well. So almost done, and I'm so excited, and this was using up yarn that I've had in my stash. And of course I added some new yarn with adding, now I have more black to get rid of, and then I also added the white, so that's going into my stash to also get rid of in the Scorched Earth Challenge. So those two projects, those three projects, those are all that I worked on this week for the Scorched Earth Challenge. In fact, it's all that I worked on at all crochet related. For this next week, for the challenge, I will continue working on this Afghan. I'd like to get at least two more, you know, these 2 rows finished. And then I'm working, of course, on the advent calendar. So those are the only things I'm really going to be working on for the challenge, because I have them started. I'd like to get them done. So anyway, thanks for joining me. If you're doing the Scorched Earth Challenge, just let me know below. If you're making videos of it, I'd love to come watch and see what you're doing to reduce your stash of yarn or to get your projects done. So thank you for watching. I really appreciate it, and we'll see you next week. Bye. Hey Gideon, do you remember what you said when I showed you this and that I was making one?
Yeah.
What did you say? Do you remember? You said, I want it. Remember? Yeah. Well, guess what? I'm done! So you can have that pillow now. What do you think?
It's good. It's beautiful.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad you like it.
Sparkly.
Yeah. Very cool.
The back is so sparkly.
It is.